She's had no memories for 3 months, other than those you've given her.
Did you catch it? Apple just dropped the official trailer for Silo Season 3, and while most people were focused on Juliette, the action scenes, and those huge mystery reveals, there are actually a ton of hidden details packed into this trailer that could completely change the way we understand the entire series. And honestly, some of these clues aren't just teasing Season 3, they might be revealing the biggest secret in Silo history. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're breaking down 10 hidden details and Easter eggs you probably missed in the Silo Season 3 trailer. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might start looking at the silos in a completely different way. The trailer is about answers, not survival. The very first thing that stood out to me wasn't actually a visual, it was the narration. Throughout the trailer, we hear a line that basically says that before we can understand why humanity is here, we need to understand how it all began. Now that sounds simple enough, but here's why it's important. For 2 entire seasons, Silo has mostly focused on one giant question. What's happening right now? What's outside? Who controls the silos? Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? But Season 3 appears to be shifting the focus completely. Instead of asking what's happening now, the show is finally asking how all of this started in the first place. And that's a huge clue, because if you've read the books, you'll know that the origin story behind the silos is actually more shocking than many of the mysteries we've already seen. The return of the Before Times. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reveals in the entire trailer. The return of the Before Times. If you remember the ending of Season 2, we briefly saw a flashback featuring a journalist and a politician before the world went underground. At the time, it felt random, almost disconnected from everything else. But now we know it wasn't random at all. Season 3 is officially introducing a second timeline. And that means we're finally going to witness the events that led to the creation of the silos. Think about that for a second. For years, viewers have been asking who built these giant underground structures, who decided humanity should live underground, and what exactly happened to the world. The trailer confirms that those 2 characters are going to be major players in Season 3. The journalist is Helen Drew, played by Jessica Henwick, and the politician is Congressman Daniel Keene, played by Ashley Zukerman. And trust me, if the trailer is spending this much time introducing them, they're probably connected to some of the biggest secrets in the entire story. Think about it for a second. Who would have access to information right before the end of the world? A journalist searching for the truth, and a politician sitting close to the people making major decisions. That's exactly what Helen and Daniel represent. Helen appears to be investigating something important, almost like she's starting to uncover pieces of a conspiracy before anyone else realizes what's happening. Meanwhile, Daniel Keane seems to be involved in high-level government discussions that could directly connect to the creation of the silos. Every shot of him in the trailer feels deliberate, like we're watching someone who knows far more than he's willing to say. And here's the really interesting part. These 2 characters could become our eyes into the past. For 2 seasons, we've been learning about the consequences of living inside the silos. But Helen and Daniel may finally show us the decisions that created that future in the first place. Season 3 looks ready to answer those questions. And honestly, that might be the most exciting thing about the entire trailer. Juliette's memory could be the key, but here's where things get really interesting. The trailer seems obsessed with memory. There are several shots where Juliette appears confused, disoriented, or emotionally overwhelmed. And according to the official information released about the season, Juliette is dealing with memory-related issues. Now, why would the writers introduce memory problems right when we're finally learning the truth? That's not a coincidence. Think about it like finding pieces of a puzzle. The audience is trying to remember clues from previous seasons. Juliette is trying to remember important details, and the show itself is traveling back in time to remember how the entire story began. Everything revolves around memory. Everything revolves around hidden history, and that theme seems to be driving the entire season. The Green World mystery. Now here's a visual detail that a lot of viewers completely missed: the greenery. Several shots in the trailer show landscapes that appear healthy, vibrant, and alive. Green grass, trees, normal-looking environments. And that immediately raises a massive question. If the world became toxic and uninhabitable, then when exactly did that happen? Because those shots suggest we're going to see a version of Earth before everything collapsed. And honestly, this might be one of the biggest clues hidden in the trailer. Why? Because Silo has always been about misinformation. The people living underground only know what they've been told. History has been erased. Facts have been manipulated. Entire generations have grown up believing a specific version of reality. So what if some of those beliefs aren't true? What if humanity's history is far more complicated than anyone realizes? That's the kind of question these Green World scenes seem to be asking. Why Daniel Keane matters. Now let's talk about Daniel Keane, because I think a lot of viewers are underestimating this character. Every time he appears in the trailer, something important seems to be happening. Government meetings, political conversations, private discussions. The trailer keeps drawing attention to him. And whenever a trailer repeatedly focuses on a specific character without fully explaining why, that's usually intentional. It's almost like the trailer is quietly telling us, pay attention to this guy, because he matters a lot. And if Season 3 is really exploring the origins of the Silo Project, then politicians like Daniel Keane could be directly connected to the decisions that changed human history forever. What the trailer is hiding. Now here's something incredibly strange. The trailer shows us a lot, but it also doesn't show us a lot. Let me explain. One of the biggest mysteries in the entire franchise is the larger organization controlling the Silo system, and yet the trailer seems extremely careful about what it reveals regarding that side of the story. It's almost avoiding it completely, which is fascinating, because when trailers intentionally hide something, it's usually because the reveal is too important. Think about movie trailers. They'll often show explosions, fights, and major scenes, but they'll hide the final twist. Season 3's trailer feels very similar. It's giving us pieces of the puzzle while carefully keeping the biggest answers off-screen. And honestly, that makes me even more curious. 2 timelines, 1 destination. Let's discuss another clue that most viewers probably overlooked, the trailer's structure itself. Did you notice how many scenes seem disconnected from each other? At first glance, it feels chaotic, but that's probably intentional. Season 3 appears to be telling 2 stories simultaneously. 1 story moving forward, 1 story moving backward. It's almost like 2 trains heading toward each other. Eventually, they're going to collide. And when they do, that's probably when the biggest revelations happen. The past will explain the present, and the present will reveal the consequences of the past. Suddenly, everything will make sense, or at least that's the theory.
The new threat. Now here's the crazy part. The official synopsis mentions that the Silo is recovering from rebellion while facing a dangerous new threat. Most viewers automatically assume the rebellion is the main conflict, but the wording suggests otherwise. The rebellion might actually be yesterday's problem. The real danger could be something entirely new, and that's important because it means Season 3 isn't simply repeating old storylines. It's escalating them. The stakes are getting bigger. The mysteries are getting deeper, and whatever this new threat is, Apple clearly doesn't want us to know about it yet, which means it's probably huge. The biggest theory. And honestly, that's probably what Season 3 is building toward the beginning of the end. Because remember, Season 4 has already been confirmed as the final season. That means we're entering the endgame now. The writers aren't setting up mysteries for 5 more years. They're setting up answers, big answers, the kind of answers fans have been waiting years to hear. So what do I think is the biggest hidden clue in the trailer? It's actually not a specific shot. It's the overall message. The trailer isn't focusing on environmental disaster. It's not focusing on survival. It's not even focusing on rebellion. Instead, it's focusing on people, politicians, journalists, decision makers, people in power. And that tells me something important. I don't think the silos were simply built to save humanity. I think they were built to decide which version of humanity would survive. And those are 2 very different things. One is about protection, the other is about control. And if that's true, then the biggest mystery of Silo may have never been what's outside. The biggest mystery may have always been who gets to shape the future. Our nerdy thoughts. And that's exactly why this trailer is so exciting. It's not just teasing another season, it's teasing answers. Answers about the silos, answers about the past, answers about humanity itself. And if even half of these clues lead where I think they're leading, Season 3 could end up being the most important season of Silo so far. So what do you think? Did you spot any hidden details that I missed? Do you have your own theories about who built the silos and why? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more Silo theories, Easter eggs, and ending explained videos, make sure to subscribe and stick around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.